this is Vivica Williams, and you're watching Head to Head. The Forum of Creative Industries brings together the brightest from different occupations and gives them an opportunity to share knowledge from how to successfully implement business innovations to even best practices and public diplomacy. This year marks the third time it's being held in Kyiv. To talk more about the forum, we're joined in the studio today by Kostiantyn Kuznetsov, General Producer at the Third Forum of Creative Industries. Kostiantyn, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Viveka. It's nice to be here.
So first, this is the third year, as I said, and I'd like to know what's changed in those 3 years when it comes to how this forum is run and its reach and the different things offered.
Well, it has changed a lot. We've actually went through a lot of transformations after the first and the second forum, because obviously speaking, even though we've been organizing events since 2006 as the official representative office of the International Candlelight Festival, the forum was, I'd say, a goal which at first seemed unreachable for us, nor we had the experience in organizing such large events, large-scale events. This year, we probably accumulated all the knowledge that we gathered in the past several years, actually in the past maybe 10 years, and decided that we can do it this time. We can make it the largest creative event, creative business event in Kyiv, and that's what we're aiming for.
And how many people do you expect to attend based on last year's attendance numbers? Well,
I wouldn't say the last year attendance was a very vast one. This year we're expecting quite more people. We will have several officials from the culture segment and from the government segment and from foreign embassies as well. We're expecting them. This is going to be a very festive event as well, because as you know, probably know, that Ukraine's got its first Lion in Design at the International Festival of Creativity, but this is the second Lion in Ukraine's history. The first one was actually gotten for the social campaign. It's called The Witness. Last year in 2017. But this year we're celebrating, we gathered to celebrate this victory, which is probably a very good accomplishment in the context of the culture diplomacy as well.
And what makes this event worth going to? What type of people have you been able to reach out to, or who would be able to really benefit from attending this event?
Well, we've worked hard for a little over a year, I'd say, because getting ready for this, for the third forum, it took us a bit longer. Actually, we started preparing it before we even announced the second forum. So our goal was, and our objective was, to gather the best speakers that we could lay our hands on. We were negotiating with some foreign guests for maybe half a year, even longer in certain cases. And the main goal was to bring the best of their kind from different industries, so that they could share their knowledge, their ideas, and pretty much spark the creative process in Kyiv these days.
And so there are different focuses, as I know, and one of the main focuses, or the first focus, is on, I think, business innovations, the intellectual property of Ukraine, as well as helping people connect with partners. Tell us a bit more about what people could expect while they're there in regards to these issues with business.
Well, the attendance would definitely benefit everyone who works in either culture segment or business segment or communication segment, because the whole idea of the forum is pretty much to find new sense on the intersections. So we've got different disciplines, different perspectives, and then some neuropsychologists may even suggest that based on these disruptions, new ideas would emerge even more intensively. And this is the concept that we actually decided to work around and work based on. Therefore, people from business could see new ways to improve their KPIs, or they could even see the new ways to implement the innovations. We've got very interesting speakers this year. We also have, in the business section, we also have famous producers from abroad and from Ukraine as well. We have communications block, which would pretty much talk about collaboration and social responsibilities, which is a little strange and maybe not common in the communications industries in Ukraine.
It's kind of like this idea of connecting things that don't seem to be connected. So people
Absolutely.
who normally wouldn't look at communications in business, such as film producers or artists,
Absolutely.
they can offer different perspectives. It's a different way of thinking, different way of connecting that maybe someone in business wouldn't be able to see. Is this kind of the idea that's going?
Absolutely, right on. Moreover, we're actually challenging ourselves with this forum, and as well as we're challenging our speakers, because when we suggest the topics and when we describe the concept that all 6 blocks, which are devoted to different things, completely, as you mentioned, those that cannot intersect in a common, from the common perspective, we challenge them and we show them how it could intersect and interact. This is something that I guess our speakers are interested about as well. It challenges them in a way, and not only film industry, it's the show business as well. It's social entrepreneurship, it's public diplomacy, it's history, it's literature, it's design. It's a lot of issues that we're trying to draw people's attention to, and we have a series of discussion which will be held on a separate stage. It's non-stop discussions that are pretty much devoted to certain issues that we, together with the experts from different industries, try to identify, and we will try to solve them. So this is still an experiment for us, and every single year it is. As I mentioned, we're challenging ourselves, but I'm very glad that our speakers and experts are being challenged as well, and they enjoy it. So we'll see what it leads us to as a community, as a creative community.
And you brought up about diplomacy. So that's not something like the idea of public diplomacy is not something you really think of when you think about creative industries. So how are you guys tying this in there?
Well, it is. The term itself, it's a very, it's a construct. It's a construct very hard to comprehend. I think we continue to search for an exact definition of what it is really, and how and which industries can influence the Ukrainian community, because the Ukrainian community is in focus right now, and. Pretty much, we research a lot. We talk with people. We talk with experts. We pretty much monitor the trends. We've got many friends and many co-organizers, I'd say partners, because this isn't the event that we are making by ourselves, right? We have a lot of partners that help us organize it, raising the questions and helping make it this event worth attending. We've got pretty much maybe 15 or 16 different partners from various industries that are part of this event, and we pretty much want our forum to be perceived as a, not as a playground, but as a trampoline for partnerships, for communication, sparking ideas, encouraging communication between the communities which never intersected before, and. Pretty much, we know that it's been worthwhile for the experts and the industries themselves, because a short story is that 2015, when we firstly organized the event and tried it, it was a complete failure. Not many people attended, were kind of upset. But then over a couple of months, actually for almost half a year, experts were inquiring whether we were going to organize another event. And we asked them why, and said, well, because it's interesting, and we find new partners, and we get new ideas. And this is exactly how the Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity works. It gathers thousands of delegates from all over the world. And we've got think tanks, we've got public speakers, we've got...
Exactly. Usually people go to some very industry-specific type of event, something for tech, something for business, and it keeps this division between fields in which we've seen some of the most unique ideas come from, say, a scientist who does something in business, or an artist who works with a mathematician. So we see a lot of different intersections here. And one of the things I noticed is that you brought up on the website, it says that the idea is to create the Medici effect. So give us an idea of what this is and what's this idea to create this.
Well, this is a story from the late 14th, early 15th century, when a family of bankers back in Italy, without oblivious to what they were doing, they gathered a community of really progressive artists and think tanks, people of art, people of ideas, creative people. And that's something that we, together with the partners, would like to be not associated with, but we would like the community of creative people to associate our spot and our event as something that could pretty much ignite this effect, start it off. But the main role would be played by the community itself. So the Medici effect is pretty much something that we want to accomplish as a result of, not as a result of holding the forum, not as a result of a press release or post-release, right, for the press. We really want the community together so that they would help solve some social and global problems that we're faced with currently.
Thank you so much for coming to talk to us about this forum, and we look forward to seeing some of the events that are going on there and reporting more about them, but also getting to know some of the actual stories and some of these partnerships that form. Thank you.
We'll keep you posted, absolutely.
Thank you, Kostiantyn, for being here.
Thank you too.
And that was Kostiantyn Kuznetsov, General Producer at the Third Forum of Creative Industries. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned with UATV for more great programming.